What's up? What's up, Ralph? So, little twist. Apparently, I can't play actual songs off of YouTube. It literally shut me down about 30 minutes in. It was like, oh, you can't do copywritten material. So apparently, I can do background tracks, but I can't do anything with like an actual vocal line. So I'm just gonna come up with some funky stuff and answer any questions if you have anything. See if I can find some cool backing tracks. Let's do some ska, because I saw Raphael Penne show up, or Penna, I believe it is. Let's do C-sharp minor ska backing track. Sounds a little bit more like oompa-ish than ska. Some old school request right there. It's been such a long time. I haven't even heard that song in more than a decade. Kristen just asked for Paralyzed. I don't even think I can play that one anymore, but I will learn it in a week and I will play it for you. That is absolutely crazy. I have no idea. Thanks for the request, though. I will definitely learn it, because that's amazing. I wrote that when I was like 15, and I haven't played it since, so that's it's pretty awesome. I'm so paralyzed in you. Dude, that is like reaching super, super, super deep. I like it. So yeah, I can't really do copywritten music, but I can jam on stuff. So if there's a style of music that you want, that you're interested in, let me know. fusion, I can do rock, I can do some weird jazz, I can do some blues, I can improv, but apparently I can't play the songs. So, yeah, that's kind of interesting. The other thing too is if you have any musical questions, I know that this is partially to kind of support my students and support people in town that are just looking to have questions answered about music. So let me know if there's anything specifically that you have that you'd like me to jam over or that you want me to explain, or just tell me what you're having a difficulty with in your studies, and I'll see if I can elaborate on it. I'm just going to jam until you guys come up with a request, okay? What's up, Max? Any styles of music that you guys like? Let's do something fusion. I'm just curious now. Let's do fusion backing tracks. Funk fusion, for those of you playing at home.
Okay, Google, record a wide-angle video.
This is in C minor.
Switch to the LG G7, thank you.
I broke Facebook and Instagram. That was impressive. Baby make music. This is one of the things that I get my students to do. I try to get them to sing a solo and then play it. So I'll show you what I'm kind of teaching. So da, so da 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 da. Da Any requests? This is my recording studio, actually. So I'm on Main Street, still open here at Ramona Music Center. Okay, I'm gonna pick something else. What do I got? Let's try Chill Soulful. In A. Okay, Tracy asked for one of my originals, so I'm gonna play one. So I've been working on my album, so I've got some new tracks that are coming down, but I'm gonna play like one of my good old ones. So this one's called Someday. It's about procrastination. Someday I'm gonna find my peace of mind. Someday I'm gonna make that woman mine. Someday I'm gonna climb the highest hill. Find myself in places that no one else ever will. No one else ever will. Someday I'm gonna stand up for myself. Someday I'm gonna pull my dreams up off the shelf. Someday I'm gonna change the world. I'll start with you, little girl. So I'll tell the world. Oh, I told myself a long, long time ago, and someday came that I'd seize it so. But if not now, then when? My someday may never come again. Well, all these such elaborate excuses are just such elaborate mistakes. Someday, possibly, only if I could. One day could be if the weather is good. Someday I'm gonna find my peace of mind. Someday I'm gonna make that woman mine. Someday I'm gonna climb the highest hill, find myself in places that no one else ever will. Cool. Thank you guys for listening. Any specific requests? I got 2 screens going right now, so I'm not sure if that's too off-putting to you guys, but I would use, I'm using both of them for Instagram and for Facebook, so hopefully I'm not pulling too many favorites. Thank you, Tracy. I'm glad you liked it. Good request. Hopefully I'm about a month out from having my CD released, so we'll see. Guys got any questions? Yeah, you can ask about anything you want. This is kind of for just like technicals. I dropped you guys, hold on. For technicals, or we can talk gear, you know, we can kind of talk whatever you guys want to talk about. I'm going to raise them up so they're side by side. Hopefully that makes a little bit more sense for you. Let's see if I can rock this forward without it falling. So what recording questions you got, Trevo? This is going to work. That's pretty good. We just got done with our recording class up here. And the kids are getting really good at the process of recording and, you know, knowing industry standards and stuff. So hopefully I can trust them to go over to the Ramona main stage and help me when we get our show. By the way, we got our first 11 sponsors for that, so we have a budget for the first show, so that's pretty cool. So we're going to do that August 31st. Really excited. I'm super excited that that actually took off. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I have an acoustic in here. Let me go grab one. Hang tight. Yeah, I gotta tape this thing on, so hang tight 1 second, I'll be right back and grab an acoustic. Okay. So recording with an acoustic. Let's see if I can get this back down to the guitar. So I'm lucky enough to have a whole bunch of cool ones sitting in the store, like the Gibson Southern Jumbo. So the recording question is kind of a really big, overarching thing. It can be... So placement is super important, but equally as important is the mic choice, the preamp choice, and then also the effects that you guys are throwing on it too. So that's kind of a big question, but I'll try to limit it straight... Have a good one, Dom! I'll try to limit it just to like actually location. So it depends a little bit on the guitar you have. But I'd say probably... What's up, Trav? Other Trav? I'd say the biggest thing is actually getting headphones and recording it and moving it around. But my kind of go-to spot is right here. Let me grab a mic and you can see it. So, like, I love this mic. This is a C14 by AKG. You guys can both see it. This mic is amazing, and I normally will place it with a cardioid pattern right about there. So just in front of the sound hole. Now the reason is I think it would sound amazing right here, but I'm going to hit it, right? So the idea is I angle it slightly towards, I don't know if you can both see it, slightly towards the sound hole like this, and I'm trying to pick up, that's going to be a really full, really bassy tone, which I like if I'm doing like solo acoustic stuff. If you go back here, you can get a really cool tone too. It's a little bit more mid-rangey. Sorry, you guys both can't see that. Back here, so like, still pointing at the sound hole and kind of where you're strumming. There's this thing called the proximity effect with mics. So the closer you get them, the more bass they're going to have. So if I get it really close, it's going to be super bassy. But if I'm laying in, that might be like way too much for it. So the idea is you can move it back a little bit. If I move it too far back, especially if I'm not in an actual recording studio, I'm going to start picking up more of the sound of the room, and that's maybe not the most desirable. So, hey Noah, what's up, buddy? I think probably here is like a good place to start. Now, there's some advanced techniques like mid-side, MS, when you have two mics and one of them has a selectable pattern. That is hands down my favorite guitar tone of all time. It's just huge and full and stereo and all sorts of good stuff. So it kind of depends contextually on the rest of the song, what's going on. This is a big, really good sounding acoustic guitar, so you can pretty much throw any mic in front of it and it'll sound really amazing. If I had a cheap acoustic, I would probably mic it in a little bit different way, or choose a very specific mic to kind of complement that. So unfortunately there's no real like one answer, which of course that would make it easy, right? And I think it also depends on whether someone is picking, like with a pick, or whether they're finger picking, or how they play too, because that's going to change a little bit of the tone characteristics. So, best thing you can do is throw on headphones and just try it. Have someone else play. Any questions? If you guys have theory questions or technique questions, I'd love to answer them. I'm going to be here every Tuesday around 8:45, 9 o'clock for about an hour. I have no idea. Yeah, probably signing off pretty soon. But if you guys have any questions, let me know. What's up, Gunner? You're a fellow, yeah, you got it. Gunner's a fellow shredder. Anything you're listening to cool, or theory stuff that you're working on? Explain partial keys. What context? Is there a song that you have in mind? Thanks for stopping by, saying hi. I'm planning on turning this into a big YouTube channel, so this is nice for me to kind of just figure out what you guys like, what works, the format, and everything. And then we'll kind of go from there. Say we're in D major. Got it. We are in D major. Actually, you know, let me put on a D major backing track real quick. Backing track D. One hour of an epic ballad. Okay, say we're in D major, and what partial are you looking for? Oh, this is horrible. Never mind, hold on. Let me find something different. That was miserable. Okay, we'll try something smooth jazz. Can you play an E9 over it? Oh, okay, hold on. Now, are you talking about substitution chords? So if I'm playing like in the key of D and doing like a whole chord progression, right? Is the question how I can get to an E9 and still be in the key? Okay, so that's a really, that's a great question. So that's actually, have you been spending any time with, like swing? Swing is huge for that. So, like, Wayne Hancock, you should totally listen to some Wayne Hancock. So, that's secondary dominant chords. So the idea is, and I know this is going to get really heavy for a second for everyone else who's not studying theory, but so the 5 chord is always dominant, right? At least in a traditional diatonic Western scale. So the idea is you can always do the dominant chord. You can make your 2 chord, your 3 chord, your 6 chord major if you do the 5 chord of that. So let me show you real quick. So E9 is going to be the 5 of A, right? And A is the 5 of D. So the goal is you could play an E9 if you're going to go to an A afterwards, right? So you could resolve it. So there's a lot of those, and they actually call them, so that would be called a 5 of 5 chord. So instead of calling it a major 2 chord, or you wouldn't call it a major 2 chord, it would be a 5 of 5. So it's the 5 chord of a 5. Does that make sense? Hi, Stacy. You could do the same thing. So if we're in D, your 3 chord would normally be an F sharp, right? And it would be minor. So if I wanted to make that a major chord, then I would probably go from there and resolve to, what would that be? Yeah, there would be a whole circle of dominance. So that's actually pretty common. I could go from D up to F sharp, and then go to the 4 chord. But yeah, so any of those. So if I want to do a what would that be? The F sharp. So that would be the 5 chord of the 6 chord of D. So that would be a 5 of 6. So 5 of 6. If you wanted to do, let's say the 6th chord, if you wanted the 6th chord to be major in the key of D, that would be the 5 chord of E, so that would be a 5 of 2, right? So it's the dominant chord of the 2nd chord. So 5th of the 2nd. I know that gets so confusing, but so D all the way down. So you can hear that a lot of the time. So it's da 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 da. And normally that 5 chord is going to want to resolve to the 2, right? So da da. Then you can do your normal chord progression. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Up to the 5, 6, to the 5 of 3, to 5 up to 1. So great question. I'm not sure how decent of an explanation that was, but if you do want more, you should cruise in and hang out. Yeah, the whole goal is that your 5 chord can always resolve to whatever releases the extra tension, right? So you're going from F sharp to B, which would normally be a 5-1, right? So you're kind of just skipping out of the key for a split second, but you're painting a picture that resolves back to the 1. Yes, you can, but there's kind of you can. Okay, so let's get a little overarching on this one. You can actually play almost any chord in the entire world as long as you draw the right resolution, like pathway, right? So if you're resolving the chord, let me try to find something really nasty. So this chord doesn't normally. Let's do. Yeah, so that's a good example. So this one, E flat does not go straight to a C major. That's kind of harsh, right? So I'd have to find a way, a pathway to get down there. So I either find things that these both have in common, and that would be called a pivot chord. You could pivot to another one. Or the other idea would be to find a pathway that would allow those to draw a path to it. So let me think through that. So I could do E flat, G. Yeah, so that one would be kind of good. So. But yeah, so the idea is as long as you do it with kind of 5 chords, and 5 chords are the strongest pull, so if you do a dominant and wants to go there, and then if I do, right? So hopefully that gets you started. So look at 5 of 5, 5 of 6, 5 of 2 chords, 5 of 3 chords. That's a way to play a major chord where there should be a minor. So yeah. What's up, Fred? Just answering tech and theory questions. I wish you guys could like digitally raise your hand. That would be kind of cool, like classroom style. How many of you guys are actually studying theory right now? Actually, you know what? Alright, let me show you an example real quick, Gunnar. This is a gnarly chord progression, and there's a lot of like angular changes. This is one I wrote when I was first studying theory. Let's see if I can remember. No. Let's see. See if I can remember the first chord. And then you wanna say I told you so. Trying to? What are you trying to? Oh, you know, actually, this is a new song I'm working on right now, so let me use this as an example. So this is going to be, this is in C major. And the idea is that I'm using a scale, so I should be, and then I'm using, so C major and B major do not have anything together, right? So I'm using some shared tones between the two chords. So when I'm doing my melody line, I start off with I should be flattered, right? So then I'm kind of working on changing keys every time I do that kind of change. So I should be flattered. You choose to be all I never wanted, all I need, all I make sense? So basically I'm using a melody line to connect the two. So I should be flattered that you choose to be. And then like when I get up here, I'm using this note. This is the minor third of E flat, but it's also the major third of D. So I'm using that as my pivot note. So change keys around that. The cool thing is I can use this note. I can kind of switch around it. Let me choose another note. So this is the 5 of and it's also the 5 of the minor, so I can switch that. Example, E flat minor and B minor have nothing in common except for that note, so I'm really using that as my anchor point. So shared tones as a way of navigating a gnarly chord progression. I'll try to figure out what that other song was. Any other questions? I'm going to sign off in just a minute. I got to go get some dinner. What's up, J.O.? What's up, Kylie? You guys got any theory questions? Hey, Travis, you still on? Still learning how this whole thing works. Let me see. Let's see if I can add people. Thanks for coming on, guys. Let me know if you got any questions. Oh, this is horrible. Nothing's working right. Okay, I'm probably going to sign off, but I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Hey, there we go. Travis, either one technically. I was going to test the co-host feature. I just don't know how this works. Let's see. Bring Travis on camera. Travis McKenzie, you ready for this? Give me a thumbs up. Make sure you got pants on. I have the hopes of bringing on some people from all over. All over, just so that they don't have to drive all the way to Ramona to do a show. So, some people in Chicago and some people in Nashville. So it'd be kind of cool to co-host with some epic musicians. Are you okay? I'm gonna try. Let's see if this works. Hey, what's up, buddy?
What's happening?
I have no idea how this works, so it doesn't look like I can make it any bigger, which kind of sucks. But at least we can ask some questions and stuff, you know. Nice guitar room. So you got any questions? Or anything you're geeking out on?
No, I haven't been playing much lately. That's why.
What the hell? Why are you on camera right now?
Sorry. It just came up and you were on, so I showed up.
Yeah, no worries, man. You gotta get you more playing some more. We got a good show at the 24th at the fair. If you're free, put it on your calendar. I know Mike's gonna make it down, so.
Oh well, then Mike's gonna make it down.
Yeah, you got it. I think probably. Actually, I think I have my iPad going right now, and it's not very good. So, what's up, Clayton? I'm actually gonna stop on here. Whatever. I'll do it next time. My iPhone 7 has like infinitely better connection quality. I think that's probably it. So what kind of stuff are you working on, man?
I've just been playing along with stuff.
Good.
That's all. Yeah.
Anything that's you said you're starting the theory thing?
No, I've just been taking your words to heart and, trying to learn theory, trying to learn circle fifths.
Cool.
Stuff I didn't do back then, so.
Yeah, totally. I would start. Are you doing the modes yet?
No.
No. I wouldn't say don't memorize all 7, but start working on like Lydian. Lydian and Dorian. Just choose 2, crush them, get real comfortable with them. They're kind of like they're different tools. So you want to start with one and really own it, because with the 7 you can just get lost. There's no reason to do that. Try to like really own it. So like I'm going on. Let me turn this real quick. So I go on. I don't think you can see my screen very well, but just do like Lydian backing track, and it'll start to teach you like that you have that sound, Because I try to explain like the modes are a lot like they're like seasoning. Like they have a character to them, right? Like cinnamon always tastes like cinnamon. Lydian will always sound like Lydian. So you can start listening to songs. That song, right? That one's. So yeah. So like this one, A Lydian. So if I do the major scale with the sharp 4, if I sit on that note, it sounds really like otherworldly or just something funky about it, right? Let me get a little bit. Anytime I hit that note, it's got that kind of tinge to it. So basically, Lydian is that sharp 4. Everything that is important about Lydian is that one note, because that's the only different note between major, right? And for me, that's like one of the most obvious ones to hear. So I tell students to start there. So if we're in A major, and instead of playing the D, which sounds horrible right now, you're going to do D sharp. And they always kind of sound foreign, right? So it sounds like either an alien or like be like really good in a fantasy movie or something.
Like Eastern.
I would launch off into the Lydian thing for sure. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
I'm surprised how short the latency is on this. It's pretty good.
I'm trying to bring it up on my main computer, but it looks like it's lagging.
So yeah, Lydian sharp 4. That's all you need to do. Focus on, shred that for weeks. You know, that's like the sound of Joey Satriani too. It's like flying in a blue dream. What's up, Jim? Yeah, and there's different shapes that you can work with, but just find one, stick with it, get real comfortable with it, and then once you get that, move on to the next mode or whatever it happens to be. Theory, loci. I like it. Well, I'll be here every Tuesday, so come up with some questions, man. It'll give me some good feedback and kind of where I should go. Again, it's a lot of people have the same questions, so.
Well, next time I'll have to plug in.
What's up?
Next time I'll have to plug in because I'm not plugged in.
Yeah. I'll have to ask Mike if Google Hangouts is better. He said he does that at his bar. Tata's, right?
Right.
Okay, well, I'm going to sign out and go get something to eat. Thanks for cruising on, Trav. And Trav. Come up with some questions, though. I mean, this will just be our theory hangout, you know? Answer some questions, talk gear, and talk about some music. And I'm sure other people will hang out. Cool. Later, guys. Have a good night.
Yeah.